sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
welcome to round 2 of the Spec F1 Esports PS4 Pacific Series Tier 1 League. My name is Expert and I'll be your commentator for this evening's race. We're here in Sakia for the second round of the Regional Series Championship for the Bahrain Grand Prix. This 5.412 kilometer circuit has a total of 15 corners with 6 to the left and 9 to the right. We're going to have a quick look now on your screens. Now you'll see the drivers' standings. As you can see, it's pretty much the results from the Australian Grand Prix at round 1, where we had a really good turnout with a max grid of drivers. Extra Evolution won that race, obviously leading Aaron L3 F4, so there is 7 points between those two drivers at the moment. I don't believe Aaron is actually racing this afternoon. Aaron is one of our reserve drivers, so I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that though. He may be racing. I'm not 100% sure. Actually, he is racing. I can see him on my screen now. So Aaron is racing this afternoon. I do apologise for that. But VSR Roscoe in the Williams came home P3 at the Australian Grand Prix around the Albert Park Street Circuit, so he will be sitting in P3 for the standings for the Williams F1 team. Crossy F1 for Ferrari is in third, leading Plebs in fifth for Renault. Then it will be Swaggy in 6th for Alfa Romeo, Spilly in 7th, 8th will be Plebs' teammate Curbing Texas, P9 will be Zach Crun, who had a pretty shocking race for a pretty shocking season opener for the Mercedes driver. Go 01 GT in the Haas MP10, leading the very lazy tail, who unfortunately DNF from the race in 11th. Then it will be Sideshow Prod, Banana Cake Pie, Jay Schmidt, F1 Hawk, Zeffy, Shumbo, Toddster, The Rock, Dr. Dre, and 40 will be your standings. But anyway, now we're going to have a look at the constructors' standings. McLaren lead the way at the moment on 25 points, leading the Williams Rocket Williams team. I nearly said Martini, I didn't know. Williams MP2 on 15 points, 1 point ahead actually of the Renault F1 team in third. Then it will be the Scuderia 2 points behind the Works Renault team in P4. Then it'll be Alfa Romeo in P5. P6 will be the Racing Point F1 team, leading the Mercedes AMG Petronas team in P7. Haas in 8th, leading the Red Bull team and the Toro Rosso team in P10. We're going to have a quick look now also at your Squads Championship standings. If you do not know how the Squads Championship works, it is basically all the, I do believe it's actually, I think it's just all the points added from all the regional series races into one. So all the Mercedes drivers will get added into the Mercedes squad, and then all the Williams, etc. But as you can see on your screen, Mercedes and Williams are actually the two squad teams that are actually on equal points at the moment, but they only have a 12-point lead over McLaren at the moment, so it is very tightly contested after round 1. But then we have Ferrari in 4th, leading Toro Rosso, Haas, Racing Point, Alfa Romeo, Red Bull, and Renault unfortunately at the bottom of the standings. We're going to swap over now to the main screen as the drivers are heading out now for the qualifying session. Try and find someone that is on a lap. I'll bring up all the telemetry now for you guys. But as you can see, Dr. Dre looks like he is on a lap now. He's doing his out lap for the Toro Rosso team. He's heading through Sector 1 now. He just crossed over into Sector 2. Through the chicane path he goes into this right-hander now. Very easy to lock the inside front as a little bit of the corner is turning and braking. And then arguably the worst corner for every driver that doesn't use ABS. Very, very easy to lock the inside front, which Dr. Dre actually has managed to contain pretty nicely there. He didn't lock the inside front. I don't believe he does use ABS, so Dr. Dre now heads onto the second pit straight for the sprint layout, I do believe it's called. But he runs a little bit wide though through that left-hander. Locked the rear tyres there, unfortunately, and it shoved him out wide, but he's heading through the fight. He's about to cross into the final sector now, which he just does. Through the penultimate corner he goes. Down this long straight. These curves are pretty deadly around here as well, so it's very easy to throw the car away or off the track if you use too much curb. But Banana Cake Pie in the Red Bull goes fastest with a 1 minute 29.007. But Dr. Dre now, his sister teammate, basically takes that off him. He goes at 1 minute 28.865. Toddson 99 for Williams, MP3 with a 1 minute 31.2. I don't believe that was a very representative time of him. But Zeffy MP3 now, actually. For Haas. Sideshow Prod now in P5. Extra Evolution now goes fastest with a 1 minute 28 point. I can't actually see that. 4:13 by the looks of it. It says 4:11, I should say. So Extra Evolution and the McLaren looking strong so far. He's leading Zach Krine in the Mercedes. MP2, P3 is still Dr. Dre, so he's put in a very nice lap there. Has the Toro Rosso driver, Banana Cake Pie, MP4 as well, who had a pretty shocking Australian Grand Prix result. But now Shumbo actually in the Alfa Romeo goes to pole position. One of the drivers that have stepped up from the Tier 2 league this season for Season 2 puts it on provisional pole position at this stage. 4/10 of a second faster at the moment than Extra Evolution. Curving Texas now, MP3 for Renault. Another one of the drivers that have stepped up from Tier 2. Across the F1, slipped into P9 there. Leading the very lazy tail for McLaren. He'll be wanting to improve a little bit on his time considering where his teammate is in P2 at this stage. Unfortunately for Jay Schmidt as well, he's going to have to go again for another lap. Unfortunately, didn't look like he got a very nice lap in. Did the Racing Point driver, so he's going again. Revs the car, who uses a lot of the engine braking through that right-hander. Gets a little bit of oversteer now, heading into this double left-hander. Manages to pull it up nicely. He's going to get a little tow here from a car in front. Very lazy tail. Pulls up to the left to get out of the Racing Point driver's way. That's actually Plebs in front of Jay Schmidt there. I don't think Plebs really wants to give Jay Schmidt a tow. Jay Schmidt can be quick at times as well. He's definitely not one to underestimate. But he heads into the final corner now. Does XXJ Schmidt. This will actually be his second lap on the medium tyres. I should bring up what they are fitted. Anyway, he comes across the line now. He had DRS open. He goes into P6 now on the hard tyres, I should say. I don't know why I said mediums. But currently, now that I just brought that up, the tyre choices are actually looking pretty interesting. The majority of the drivers will either be going from a soft to hard or a hard to soft, but I have seen in a couple of other races that, from my previous experience as well, the hard to soft tyre strategy is actually very effective, especially when you have other drivers that are starting on the soft tyre and you're starting on the hard. So as you can see, a lot of the drivers opting to use that hardest compounded tyre. The tyre wear is not the best thing around the Bahrain Grand Prix circuit. But as you can see, Shumbo and Curving Texas have set their laps on the soft compound of tyres. Zephy, MP8 as well. He has set his time on the medium compound. Swaggy and Aaron down MP14 and 15 at this stage. Swaggy is on his outlap at the moment, and he is on the soft tyre as well. So we'll have to see how that goes for him in the race, but I would assume he'll go pretty high up as well. I should point out as well, Dr. Dre, MP5 for Toro Rosso, is also on the soft compounded tyre. But he's starting his lap now, is Swaggy. This will be his first time lap of the session. He heads into turn 1 now. Goes the Alfa Romeo driver. Brake just after the 100 meter ball, gets it turned in nicely, just clips that curb to pull it around the corner through this left kink now. Very easy to lose the traction if you hit that curb. Opens DRS for the second available DRS zone around the circuit. Heading into turn 4, he goes on the exit now. He's got a McLaren to his right. Hopefully he doesn't get in the way, but he's heading through the chicane part now of 5, 6, and 7. Into turn 8, he's got a bit of traffic in front of him, so hopefully they do get out of the way. He runs a little bit wide through turn 8 though. There's a driver in front. Hopefully he gets out of the way. But now he's heading into the double left-hander of 9 and 10. Obviously, this next little straight manages to get to the apex zone nicely there, did Swaggy. But now he's going to be having DRS available to him down the straight. Maybe even a little tow from the driver in front. No, he's actually a little bit too far ahead. Couldn't really see how close he was. But now, heading through turn 11. Through turn 12, you want to make sure you can prioritize this next right-hander of turn 13, because you need to get the best exit possible down this second last straight. Heading into the final corners now of turn 14 and 15. Looks like he gets it turned in nicely. Not many mistakes by the looks of it from Swaggy. Only one little area of running wide. And now where's this going to put the the Alfa Romeo driver? Unfortunately, he invalidated his time by the looks of it, because he did not set an official time. So I think he may have corner cut somewhere that we did not see. or track extended potentially, but that's unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo driver. He's going to have to go around and chuck a new set of tyres on and go again, so he's not going to have as many runs as some of the other drivers. But F1 Hawk now, MP8. Unfortunately, my thing's glitching out. Sorry, my thing's glitching out. Hopefully that fixes it. But anyway, with 8 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the session, it's currently this man, Shumbo, 1-2-3 in the Alfa Romeo, is sitting on pole position at the moment. He's got 0.4 of a second between him and the McLaren, or otherwise known as the Australian Grand Prix winner, all round one of the regional series. X Revolution sits on on the first row with him, MP2. He is currently on a lap, but he's run wide through the double left-hander, and he's run it really wide as well on exit, so that may have potentially invalidated his lap time. He's still going though. He's heading up to a bit of traffic now, is X Revolution. Hopefully he doesn't get blocked at all. But anyway, Curving Texas is still MP3 at this stage. Obviously on that soft compounder tyre, so he'll probably have to do a pretty long... He'll run out of tyres very early in this race, most likely. But Jay Schmidt, MP4, obviously on the hard tyre, doing a very nice performance at the moment for the Racing Point team. Leading Zach Crichton, MP5 for Mercedes. P6 will be Dr. Dre 3000, who is now doing a few soft tyre runs by the looks of it, so he is not at all planning to start on that harder compounder tyre. Banana Cake Pie on the mediums at the moment, is currently sitting MP7. He's also on a lap. F1 Hawk MP8 leading Sideshow Prod MP9, who is coming out of the pit lane for his second run. Todson 99 rounds out your top 10 currently on the hard tyre. Plebs MP11 at the moment, still looks like he's about to start his second run now. He is on the hard compounder tyre, so he's going to have to do a bit better of a time if he wants to improve on his lap. But that's actually a Toro Rosso. That was Dr. Dre that put it in the wall right in front of Plebs, starting his lap there. So now that's unfortunate for Dr. Dre. He's unfortunately not going to get another lap in this session, so he's going to have to settle for P6 or worse potentially. But Plebs heads into turn 1 now. Gets through there nicely, loses the rear end very briefly there on exit of turn 2, as we were talking about before. Very easy to mount that curve a bit too much, but now he's using the Esports line heading into turn 3. So turn 4 rather. Uses a lot of lock on that steering. Doesn't seem too confident on the initial turn in on that Renault car. He's heading into the second sector now, is Plebs. Up to turn 8. Looks like it's got it turned in very nicely. Gets a bit of oversteer on exit. That forced him a bit narrow on exit as well. But now he's using all the entry curb available. Doesn't lock up the inside front. Runs a little bit wide though. Down the third DRS straight available to the drivers. Doesn't look like he's going to have a tow from anyone. There is a driver behind him though. I'm not too sure who that is, but as you can see, that Renault car definitely seems to be struggling with a bit of understeer at the moment, considering the amount of lock Plebs is having to put on that car. Steering lock. Gets it through that corner done pretty nicely though. Heading into turn 14 and 15. He goes now under the Rolex board. Gets that Renault car turned in nicely, but he's going to come down the main straight now. What time is he going to set? He opens the DRS nice and wide, and now Plebs unfortunately he did improve on his time, but that unfortunately didn't move him up at all any position, so he's going to have to try and potentially go again on this set of hard compound of tyres. A few drivers will be on their laps at the moment. Sideshow Prod, as you can see, is on a lap for Red Bull. He's going to have a little bit of work to do if he wants to catch up to his teammate, currently sitting in P4. They are both choosing to start on the same compound of tyres. He's heading into the double left-hander now, gets it turned in nicely. There's a Ferrari that gets out of his way, but he's actually going to come across the track now. Is Crossy nearly ran into him? I think Crossy, that actually wasn't intentional of Crossy there, but now Spilly in the Racing Point goes to pole position with a 1 minute, I can't even see that, a 1 minute 27, I'm assuming, a 1 minute 27.877 on the medium compound tyre, may I point out as well, so that can be interesting when it comes to strategy as well. But Spilly now for Racing Point goes to pole position, but we're going to go back to Sideshow Prod at the moment as he's heading through the final sector. He's 5/10 up on his time, so this should probably move him up near his teammate, if not ahead. Potentially he'll go into the top 6 at this stage if he can keep that time going. But he opens the DRS nice and wide now to Sideshow Prod. Where does this move him up to? Into P3 for the Red Bull driver. So as you can see, the current top 6, I should say. Sorry, Spilly is currently on the medium set of tyre. The only driver at the moment on the medium compound. So no, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know why I said that. But Shumbo, the first driver, I should say, on the soft compound of tyres. The second driver obviously being Curving Texas. I'm not too sure how those medium tyres are going to go in this race. I don't think they're the right tyre to be qualifying on. I think you need to be doing it on the hard or soft tyre. But anyway, now VSR Roscoe on Paul Williams goes into P3 for that Rocket Williams racing team. There's currently 7 different teams in the top 7 at this stage. Very nice performance from the 2 Red Bulls as well, considering their performance at all the issues they had, especially this man, Sideshow Prod, at the opening round at the Australian Grand Prix. He'll be happy to just be into the top 10, if anything. Forty looks like he's now starting a lap. Actually, no, he's coming into the pit lane. He's currently sitting MP12 on that hard compound tyre. There's 2 minutes and 56 seconds remaining in this session. Still a couple of drivers, actually Swaggy is still yet to settle up for that Alfa Romeo team. So he's going to have to make sure he doesn't invalidate his time for this next run. As you can see, Zach Crichton now heading out of the pit lane. Out of that Mercedes garage he goes. We're going to read you through that order now. Again, as there's 2 minutes and 27 seconds remaining, Spilly currently leads the way for Racing Point. Very nice lap there, considering he is on the medium compound tyre. He leads Shumbo at the moment, who is going out on a fresh set of soft tyres, so he could be potentially one to watch, as just a little under 0.2 of a second between these 2 drivers. VSR Roscoe MP3 at the moment for Williams. He's going to have to try and get out quick enough to set a lap. The very lazy towel sitting MP4 from McLaren, leading Zeffy, who's been held in the pits because his teammates have to come out, so that could potentially screw him up here. Unfortunately, I don't think he will get out for another run, just being held. But Sideshow Prod MP6 at the moment, leading X Revolution MP7. The 2 McLarens doing a very nice job, MP4 and 7 at the moment, same as the 2 Red Bulls, MP6 and 9. Curving Texas MP8, but now Zeffy's retired from the session. He doesn't think he can go any quicker. Curving Texas is now exiting the pit lane for his final run. It's going to be tight on time. He will have to push a little bit on his outlap here. Banana Cake Pie is about to start his final run. I do believe XXJ Schmidt MP10 as well for Racing Point. P11 is Zach Crichton, who's only done 1 run so far in this qualifying session. 4022 MP13 now. He's just come out of the pits for Ferrari. He's going to be quite tight on time actually to get around to the line. F1 Hawk MP14 15 is Toddster. P16 is Plebs, leading Crossy F1, who is now starting his final run as well. Aaron L3F4 down in P18 at the moment, not doing a very good job, or hasn't set a very competitive time, I should say, for the Mercedes team. But that's actually VSR Roscoe now that has put it, who's retired from the session. Oh, he actually didn't come out for a lap. I thought he came out for a lap, but that's, I do apologize for that. I thought he came out for a lap and may have been to, but now Zach Crichton heading into turn 1. Turns it in very early. Didn't think he was going to get the car stopped, so he had to resort to using the steering to help slow him down. He's heading down the second straight now, is Zach Crichton. Heading into turn 4 he goes. Doesn't use the F1 Esports line, but uses a lot of curb at the mid-apex. That could have potentially cost him. It didn't look like the car jumped a lot, but he uses or munches that curb, I should say. Heading into 6, 7, and 8. So 5, 6, and 7 through turn 8. Zach Crichton goes now. He needs to get into that top 5 if he wants to keep those championship. If he wants to keep his championship, well, I shouldn't say alive, but if he wants to keep it close at the moment to his ultimate rival of X Revolution. Qualifying session has now completed. The very lazy towel is going to have to settle for P4 or worse. But now Banana Cake Pie in the Red Bull goes fastest with a 1 minute 27.497 on the soft compounded tyre. So the Red Bull F1 team doing a very good job at the moment. Will his teammate be able to go better? Unfortunately, Sideshow Prod did not get a lap time in, I do believe. I think he came out of the pits a little bit too late, but we're going to ride on board with X Revolution now as he's coming down the final straight. Where's he going to move him into? He's going to now got a pole position for the McLaren F1 team with a 27.386. So currently, and also we should point out as well, Zach Crichton only managed to go to P3 on the medium compound tyre. He's set a 27.616 as well, 0.2, or just a little under 0.2 of a second between him and Banana Cake Pie. Spilly's still sitting in P4. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to complete his lap. He must have made a little error. Unfortunately for the Racing Point driver, that's his qualifying session over. Shumbo has finished his qualifying session as well. Now Plebs has moved himself into P6 for Renault F1 team. VSR Roscoe Arm 7th, leading the very lazy Talon 8. Zephyr 9th, and running a top 10 at the moment will be Sideshow Prod, who I do believe will want to get off this soft tyre, and now he will be able to have a fresh set of tyres as F1 Hawk now moves into P8 for Haas. Todd's a 99, MP12. Disappointing result for him considering where his teammate is in the top 7. P13 will be Crossy F1, P14 will be XXJ Schmidt. Leading Curving Texas in P5. It was looking strong at the beginning of the session, but unfortunately I don't think he got any other nice runs in at the end. But Aaron L3F4, who was looking very strong at the Australian Grand Prix, unfortunately wasn't able to convert that over to Bahrain. Dr. Dre 3000 MP17 leading 4022 MP18, and then it will be Swaggy down MP19 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. That has been your qualifying session. I don't believe anyone else is on a lap, so I think we're just waiting for the game to realise that, but here we go. But as I just said, that is your Bahrain Grand Prix qualifying for the Spec F1 Esports PS4 Pacific Series Tier 1 League. As you can see, the provisional results on your screen now. Currently, there is 0.236 of a second between our top 3 as it stands. And as you can see, it finally breaks a second at our top 15. So all our top 14 at the moment are within a second of each other. So that's actually not too bad for the drivers. It's 5.589 of a second between our top 5. So this could definitely make it a very interesting race. It will be a lot of it will come down to strategy in the end. But we're going to let the drivers now head over to the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix. We'll be back with you in a minute. I'd like to welcome you back to the Bahrain Grand Prix. As the drivers now start their formation lap, I'd like to welcome everyone to the stream as well. Hello and welcome to the good guy. Same shit, different smell. Alcatraz, Geordie, Jack Snowden. Hello guys, welcome to the stream and everyone else. But anyway, as the drivers now set out for their formation lap, as you can see on your screens now, I would like to ask you guys in the live chat or in the live stream your top 3 predictions for the Spec F1 Esports PS4 Pacific Series Tier 1 Bahrain Grand Prix. Let's put those top 3 predictions in the live chat and I'll be sure to read them out for you guys. But anyway, we're going to go through your order now as the drivers are around halfway through their formation lap. Extra Evolution currently, did put it on pole position for the McLaren F1 team. That makes it 2 from 2 for the McLaren team. Banana Cake Pie doing a very stellar result for the Red Bull team is going to be joining the McLaren on the front row for Red Bull. Then it will be Zach Crine in P3 as well. It'll be interesting to see how Banana goes considering he is starting on that soft tyre as well. And it'll be interesting as well to see how all the medium runners go. I'm not too sure about the medium tyres, but we'll have to see how that goes. But Spilly for Racing Point sits in P4 for the Racing Point team. Shumbo in P5, leading Plebs in P6. Shumbo, one of our soft tyre runners as well. He'll be one to watch out for. As I read out, Plebs in P6 for Renault. VSO Roscoe Arm in P7. P8, unfortunately, was not able to participate in the formation lap. F1 Hawk and the very lazy Tau, 2 runners as well on the soft compound tyre, and then running out top 10 will be Zephyr, who nearly ran into the back of VSR Roscoe, and P11 will be Sideshow Prod, the first of the hard tyre runners to the first of the drivers to start on the hard tyres. Then it will be Todson 99, MP12. 13th will be Crossy F1. 14th will be XXJ Schmidt for Racing Point, leading the Renault driver of Curving Texas, Aaron L3F4 in the Mercedes P16. 17th will be Dr. Dre. 18th will be 40 with a pretty disappointing result, considering he looked like he had pretty good pace in the Australian Grand Prix. P19 will be Swaggy 291, and rounding out your top 20 will be the Rock F1, who unfortunately did not participate in the qualifying session. So he's going to have to start from the rear of the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix. I can see you guys have put in a few predictions for the chat, but I will read them out in a second when we get a little bit into the race. But as you can see, the light sequence is beginning now for the Bahrain Grand Prix. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers, and they're underway. A very quick reaction from the lights, so that's potentially could have caught out a few drivers there, but they now head into turn 1. A lot of them going multiple cars wide at the moment, but that's Banana Cake Pie trying to slip down the inside of Next Revolution into turn 1. The Red Bull trying to make a move for the lead of the Grand Prix. It looks like he's trying to do it. He's hanging around the outside, and Banana Cake Pie moves into the lead of the Grand Prix. But now Spilly's trying to make a move on Next Revolution as well. Zach Crunch dropped a few spots, so will Spilly be able to make a move? Heading into turn 4 they go. They nearly made contact there. Does the McLaren and the Racing Point driver, but they look like they have gone through unscathed, and now Spilly's trying to keep it on the inside, but the X Revolution looks like he's got a lot more confidence in this early phase of the race. He's still side by side at the moment, but they're making it 3 wide. Heading into turn 8, Zach Crichton just shoved his car down the inside there of the Alfa Romeo of Shumbo and Spilly, and it looks like it's worked off for him, and now he's slotted back into P3 for the Mercedes team. What a move there from Zach Crichton. But now Spilly MP5 as well. He's dropped a few positions. Zephy MP6 leading his teammate F1 Hawk in P7. Look how tight this is for the midfield as the two Haases are trying to go side by side. It looks like F1 Hawk getting held up a little bit by his teammate there. Plebs in P8 leading VSI Roscoe Arm down in P9. So Plebs and VSI Roscoe Arm have dropped a few positions off the beginning of the Grand Prix, but now the two Haases are going to go side by side heading into turn 13. They're still side by side, heading down the straight they go. Zephy looks like he's going to have to defend the position, heading into the penultimate corner to his teammate. He gets squeezed off onto the curb, does F1 Hawk, but that's VSI Roscoe Arm now, I do believe, who's running a little bit wide on the exit of the penultimate corner. That's going to give the very lazy tail a very nice run, heading down the straight. It looks like he's lagging a little bit as well, so hopefully that doesn't play a factor, but Banana Cake Pie leads the way as it stands for Red Bull Racing. And that's actually Zach Crichton that's moved up into P2 for Mercedes. He's looking like he's got a lot of pace in this early phase of the race. Does Zach Crichton in that Mercedes, who's moved up ahead of the championship leader X Revolution. So now he's got his eyes on Banana Cake Pie. Right behind him is Spilly as well. Shumbo MP5 so far for Alfa Romeo. He's currently sitting in where he qualified. F1 Hawks moved up 2 spots into P6, leading his teammate in P7, Zephy. The two Haas has done a very nice start so far. Plebs in P8, leading the very lazy tail in P9. Then it will be Sideshow Prod, the first of the hard tyre runners. Currently sits in P10, or rounds out top 10. He just made a move by the looks of it on Curving Texas in P11 for that Renault car. Then it will be VSI Roscoe Arm, who's dropping positions left, right and centre in this early phase of the race. But now 40's trying to go down the inside through the double left hand, and the Ferrari driver gets the move done on Roscoe Arm. Todson now, VSI Roscoe Arm's teammate is right behind Roscoe Arm now, MP14. Roscoe Arm trying to make a move again, back on 40. They're going to go side by side, heading into this long left-hander. Do they make contact? Very easy to understeer wide on exit there, but it looks like 40's going to maintain that position. So now Roscoe Arm's got to hold that position on Todson, but now that's actually the Renault there of Curving Texas trying to make a move on Sideshow Prod. They did have a little incident at the Australian Grand Prix, so these two are not the best of friends. Sideshow trying to make a move, heading into the final corner. He's got around the outside, but Curving Texas is much deeper under brakes. Do they make contact? Looks like Sideshow's going to hold it around the outside, but we're going to have to go back to this front battle as Banana Cake Pie heading onto lap 3 they go. Still leads away as DRS is now available to the drivers. He leads Zach Crichton as it stands in P2. P3 will be X Revolution for McLaren, leading Spilly in P4. P5 will be Shumbo for Alfa Romeo. P6 will be F1 Hawk, leading his teammate Zephy in P7. Plebs in P8, very lazy tail in P9. I'm running a top 10 will be Sideshow Prod, leading Curving Texas, who's trying to make a move now. Heading into turn 4 they go. The Renault and the Red Bull driver go side by side. And it looks like the Renault driver's got the move done. He's trying to hang it around the outside though. Is Sideshow Prod. I don't think they made any contact there. They got really close to though. So that's dropped or demoted Sideshow Prod back down to P11, 40-22. Now it's moved up from a few, positions. He's up into P12 now. Roscoe Arms dropped heaps. He's back down in P13, leading his teammate Todson 99 in P14. 15th is Crossy F1. Then it is Aaron L3 F4 16, 17th is Swaggy, 18th is Dr. Dre, 19th is the Rock F1. And then unfortunately I think Jay Schmidt's had a little bit of an incident. I think he's had to come into the pit lane for his first stop. He has, so he must have had to make a front wing change. He's only gone onto the medium tires, so that could be pretty interesting as well. But I'm going to have a quick look now to see what your predictions were. Geordie reckons Revolution, Spilly and Plebs. Jack Snowden reckons Banana, Spilly, Revolution. As you can see now, Zach Crine's got a very nice run on Banana Cake. Heading into turn 1 they go. Well, Zach Crine, he pulls out of the slipstream now, does the Mercedes driver. I'm not too sure if Banana Cake will put up a fight, but now the Mercedes driver moves into the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix, but that's actually X Revolution now trying to get down the inside of Banana Cake as well. He will look like he's trying to fight it back though. Is the Red Bull driver. He forces the McLaren out wide. Heading through turn 3 they go. Now heading into turn 4 under the Pirelli banner they go. Into turn 4 they go. He's going to have the inside line. His X Revolution. He's much deeper under brakes and he's overcooked that corner massively. And X Revolution's unfortunately going to drop a spot here to Shumbo as well, but I should say Spilly, but Spilly's also trying to make a move on Banana Cake Pie. Will Banana defend the inside line, because Spilly's just going to take that move if he doesn't, and Spilly goes down the inside for Racing Point. It looks like he's going to try and hold the move down the inside, but Banana Cake Pie had the better traction out of the corner, heading into the double left-hander now. Will he try and do the under and over maneuver? Doesn't look like it's a Banana Cake Pie. It's going to hold on to P2 at the moment, but this is looking really good at the moment for Zach Crine. He's just pulling away, but Spilly got a nice run out of a double left-hander. The Red Bull driver really struggling at the moment compared to the others. So now he's been dropped back down to P3. He's getting forced out by Spilly. So now Banana Cake's forced out wide, and X Revolution now gets himself back into P3 briefly, but Banana Cake has the inside line for the next two right-handers. Will he be able to hold it down the inside? He's deeper under brakes, but X Revolution had the better momentum heading through turn 13, and it looks like Banana Cake Pie has been forced back down to P4 for this Grand Prix. Shumbo now trying to catch up as well in that Alfa Romeo car. F1 Hawk in P6. Plebs has now split the two Haas's into P7. He goes. He's trying to do a little bit of a recovery drive after his first lap incident. I'm not too sure what's happened to him, but he dropped a lot of positions. I do believe he dropped to just out of the top 10. So he's doing it right at the moment. Look how close all the drivers are. We're going to put this over to leader to see how close we all are. So currently 10 seconds still cover the top 12. So there's still any incidents at the moment that happened in this Grand Prix, any safety cars potentially, which I do believe someone actually predicted in the chat. I think that was Alcatraz. It was Alcatraz. So he is predicting for his Maltese. His Maltese are predicting $8.50 by the looks of it for a VSC or a safety car. Just put your bets on that. Currently the top 5 are all currently pretty evenly spread at the moment. Spread at the moment. Plebs is now catching up to the rear of F1 Hawk. He's trying to make a move. He's going to have DRS, but so is all the drivers in front, because everyone currently in the top 7 besides Spilly has DRS on the driver in front of them. They're all within a second by the looks of it. Zeffy is just out of DRS range on that Renault in front of him. Very Lazy Tail does have DRS though on Zeffy, so does Curving Texas Support, he does as well. Sideshow Pod's got around a 2.2 second lead, but that's actually a Banana Cake Pie now, I believe, has spun around. It is Banana Cake Pie, so the Red Bull has unfortunately spun around, heading through turn 11 and 12, I do believe that is. I'm not too sure what's happened there to Banana Cake Pie, but now he's going to have a nice run. Is Sideshow Pod on his teammate? That was through turn 12 and 13. But now Sideshow Pod and Banana Cake Pie are still going at it. The two Red Bulls go side by side heading through the final corner, but Banana Cake Pie is trying to get into the pit lane. And now he just got himself a 5-second time penalty. It looked like he ran really deep into the pit lane there. Did Banana Cake time. Unfortunately, we didn't get a view on that. I just saw his car going way down, but that's also VSR Roscoe who's dropped a few spots, I do believe, as well, with Sideshow Pod. I think Swaggy just got past both of them by the looks of it. And now Crossy's trying to defend the inside line on Swaggy. Sideshow Pod is right there as well. He's going back down to P13 from P11. But this could come into his hands as well, considering he is on that hard compound tyre. So he will be on that, he will be on out on track for a while. VSR Roscoe, I'm trying to dive down the inside of Sideshow Pride. It looks like Sideshow left in the room though. Didn't really have to. VSR Roscoe, only had a half look there on the Red Bull. As you can see, Swaggy looks like he's got a nice run out of that double left-hander. He's going to have a nice run. Slipstream and DRS on the Ferrari in front of him. Crossie going to try and defend, but there's not much real point as he knows that Swaggy is a little faster. So Swaggy's going to go down the inside, forces him out wide. They do actually make contact there. So I'm not too sure if Crossie actually does or did get a little bit of front wing damage off the contact there with that Alfa Romeo. Doesn't look like it visually. But now that moves Swaggy 291 up into the top 11. Clovis has now got ahead of F1 Hawk, who is now into the pit lane for Haas. Very early stop. His soft tyres have not lasted long at all. We will see a few more of the soft tyre runners coming in to the pits very shortly. But as you can see, Zach Crichton still leads away at the moment. He's got a 2.7 second lead ahead of the Racing Point driver of Spilly. P3 will be Extra Evolution for McLaren. Leading Shumbo, MP4, P5 will be Plebs, who has done a pretty nice recovery drive so far for the Renault F1 team, considering where he ended up on the end of lap 1. So now he's catching up to the driver that's moved up from tier 2 in the series. He's now in P4, and that is Shumbo. P6 will be Zeffy for Haas. P7 will be the Very Lazy Tail leading 40-22. P8 will be Curving Texas leading Swaggy 291, who has now got himself into the top 10, I should say, after the pit stops have been made. Crossy F1 in P11 leading Toddster, who has now got ahead of his teammate down in P12 and 13. P14 will be the Mercedes driver around L3, F4. Doesn't look like he's been able to convert that pace over from what he had in the Australian Grand Prix, unfortunately, for Aaron. He was looking very quick, and I do believe he came home P2 for that Grand Prix behind Extra Evolution. So that's unfortunate for Aaron. He's going to have a little bit of pace. He's going to have to try and make up if he wants to get into that top 10. Dr. Dre now, as you just saw through that previous corner, was struggling a little bit on rear braking ability. So not ability, stability. As you can see, Sideshow Pod now has unfortunately dropped down to P16, so I'm not too sure if he's gotten a little bit of an incident again with some driver. But the Rock F1 down in P17 as well, leading F1 Hawk, who has came into the pits. I'm going to swap this over now, 2 stops here, so you guys can see who has made a pit stop in this Grand Prix, but currently it is F1 Hawk, Banana Cake Pie, and XXJ Schmidt who have made a stop. So as you can see, that's Banana Cake Pie going onto the soft tyres. That's very interesting from him. So he's definitely going to have to make another stop in this Grand Prix. But now Extra Evolution and Spilly are going at it as well. Unfortunately, I didn't get that. I do apologise for that. But now Extra Evolution for McLaren has got ahead of Spilly in the Racing Point. But Curving Texas and the Very Lazy Tail are also going at it, heading into turn 5, 6, and 7. They go. And it looks like the Renault driver has got ahead of the McLaren F1 driver of the Very Lazy Tail. I do apologise I didn't get that move on Spilly and Extra Evolution. He will have slipstream though, will Curving Texas, fortunately on 40, so that will help with his defensive manoeuvres on the Very Lazy Tower. They are both currently sitting in around the same ERS as Curving Texas and Tower. By the looks of it, Zeffy is right on the rear of Plebs, but Plebs is also right on the rear of Shumbo, so we're going to ride on board with all. We're going to ride on the... We'll focus on these guys at the moment. Zeffy looks like he's a little bit closer to Plebs than what Plebs is to Shumbo. Will Zeffy make a move? He looks like he's really close to Plebs. He's actually spun him. Has Zeffy. So Zeffy has spun around Plebs, heading into the penultimate corner of turn 14. That was definitely Zeffy's fault there. He ran way too deep into the corner, which I actually thought would happen. He was right under that rear wing of the Renault car, and unfortunately spun around the Renault driver of Plebs. So that's just added to Plebs's tally's not the word, but it's added to his bad start to the Grand Prix. There's still 20 laps remaining in this Grand Prix, but now it looks like Toddstar and his teammate are going at it as well. I do believe they just made a move on each other. So now Todds has moved, or managed to stay in P12. I think Roscoe did make a move, as that did swap around very briefly, but Curving Texas is still now feeling the pressure from the Very Lazy Tower in P7 as it stands. Now Zeffy is right on the rear of Shumbo, but he will most likely, or very likely, take a time penalty for doing that. But he's actually hit Shumbo as well. Shumbo ran a little bit wide through the double left-hander, but he did hit him heading on the exit. So will Shumbo defend the inside? Zeffy very forcefully pushed himself down the inside for that corner, and now does he push the Alfa Romeo out wide? Shumbo is still keeping it there, heading through this long right hand, but it looks like Zeffy's going to go around the outside into P4. The harsh driver goes for the Bahrain Grand Prix, but Zeffy will be under investigation for potentially another bump and run on Shumbo, but then a bump and run also on Plebs, so spinning him around. So now that's put Shumbo into the hands of 40, who has done a very nice start to the Grand Prix considering where he started. He's up 12 positions at the moment, is the Ferrari driver. But now, as you can see, that Shumbo now peeling off into the pit lane. A lot of the drivers will be coming into the pits this lap. As you can see, Zach Ryan staying out a little bit longer. A lot of the soft tyre drivers will be in this lap. Spilly staying out, so is Zeffy. So now he moves up into P3, 40 into P4, curving Texas P5, leading Swaggy 291 in P6, Plebs in P7 now. P8 for Crossy, P9 will be Todd Stam, running at your top 10 will be VSR Roscoe on Aaron in P11, who is now trying to make a move on VSR Roscoe. He's going to try and go down the inside on that Williams car. Will he get the move done? He unfortunately had to sit back behind that Williams rear wing, but he got a very nice drive out of turn 4 there. Will he be able to potentially set up a move for turn 8? It looks like he's a little bit too far behind now to make a move into turn 8, unfortunately, for Aaron L3F, for Dr. Dre sitting in P12 at the moment, leading Sideshow Prod and the Rock F1, the last of the drivers that have not made a pit stop so far. Extra Evolution now has made a stop in P15. He is the first of the pit stoppers, or the drivers that have made a pit stop. He has gone onto the hard compounded tyre F1 Hawk in P16 for Haas. Has gone onto the medium compounded tyre. All these drivers that I am reading out now from the top 15 or below have all made a stop. Shumbo MP17, and now he's got Banana Cake Pie right behind him on that soft compounded tyre, which is very interesting for Banana Cake that he put that compound on, because that's not going to last him long, and he's gonna have to come into the pits again, which he was gonna have to anyway, but I don't think that was the right tyre to go on, to be honest. So if I was him, I probably would have gone onto the hard compounded tyre and then chucked on a fresh set later on the race, but you can see Banana Cake tried to stick his nose down the inside of Shumbo heading into that right-hander, but unfortunately he gained himself a time penalty while doing so. VSR Roscoe also just got himself a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but a lot of drivers are coming into the pits at the moment. It's a bit hard to see where everyone's coming up, but that's Zach Crime now, who just slipped in behind the Rock F1 and Sideshow Prod. The two just teammates are in front of that Mercedes F1 car. He's going to have DRS though, is Zach Ryan, will he be able to make a move on the Rock? Heading into this next turn, he's also trying to make a move. Is the Rock on Sideshow Prod? They're going to go side by side. He locks into front load as the Rock. This is definitely not helping Zach Ryan at the moment. He's just costing him time. Sideshow Prod is trying to hang it around the outside and keep that position on the Rock. Zach goes around the outside. I think Sideshow just gave Zach that position. Doesn't really want to fight at this stage or hold up Zach Crine. He gives him a little bump draft there, heading through the corner. Does Sideshow Prod, but now Zach Crine moves himself up into P10, but this is not healthy for him. He came out in a very bad spot here. There's Zach Crine, but now that's the Toro Rosso running really wide, and I think they actually just made contact there to Zach Crine and the Rock. He went off track there, did the Toro Rosso driver, but came on pretty aggressively back to the track. But now Zach goes up into P9. So his closest rival was Extra Evolution, which he managed to stay out ahead of. Sideshow Prod ran really wide through that left-hander there. Put all four wheels off the track. Zach Ryan now has his team out of Aaron L3F4, currently ahead of him in P8. Zach is the first of the drivers that have made a pit stop so far, but now Zeffy has now put himself into the lead of the Grand Prix, staying out pretty long on this medium compound tyres. Swaggy 291 is on the hard compound of tyres, so he will be out for a little longer in this race. So is Curving Texas. He's on the medium compound tyres, I should say. Extra Evolution now down in P10 has gone fastest with a 1 minute 31.248 for the McLaren team. He's on that hard compound tyre, but there's a few drivers dropping positions at this stage. That's because Plebs is in the pit lane to chuck on a fresh set of the hard compound tyres. So that moves Banana Cake Pie and Shumbo up a position into 14th and 15th they go. We got to wait for all the drivers. That's actually now Sideshow Prod making a move on Extra Evolution. Sorry, I was spamming L2 and R2 a little bit too much there, but Extra Evolution now has got ahead of Sideshow Prod. I don't think Sideshow will try and put up too much of a battle with them, or with Extra Evolution, because he knows that he is faster, but unfortunately it's all fallen apart for Red Bull at this stage. They were looking very good at the start of the Grand Prix. Still a little tight battle here between the Rock, Evolution and Sideshow Prod. He's trying to get up that battle pack, or catch up to that battle pack a little bit more in this Grand Prix. But currently the drivers that we are waiting to make a pit stop so far is Zeffy, Swaggy, Curving Texas, Crossy, Toddstar, Aaron and the Rock and Sideshow Prod. Sideshow Prod obviously been on that hard compound tire, so he'll be out for a little longer, but I think Swaggy was right on the rear of Zephyr, who I do believe will make a pit stop this lap. And as you can see now, Swaggy will actually pick up a bit of slipstream and DRS down that straight, so that actually helped him a little bit there. He is on the hard compound tire, so he'll be going for a little longer. Scoving Texas still out on that on that set of medium tires, so he is going out or into this Grand Prix very long. It looks like he just understeered massively through turn 1, so he is most likely just costing himself a lot of time at this stage. I thought someone was losing position, but Curving Texas still sitting MP2 at the moment, leading Crossy F1, MP3 for Ferrari, who is on the hard compound tire. So is Todson 99, Aaron L3F4 on the hard compound as well, leading Zach Crichton, who is now the first of the drivers that have made a pit stop. He currently has a 1.937 second lead to Extra Evolution. Zach Crichton is is theoretically in the lead at the moment. Extra Evolution in P2, the Rock F1 in P8, leading Sideshow Prod in P9. Spilly is in theoretical P3 at this stage, leading F1 Hawk actually in P4. So the Haas team have actually done a pretty nice job here at the moment, so I'm not too sure why they went onto the medium compound tyre there. They did start on the softs, I do believe, so they're not going to be able to get that tyre to the end. He's definitely going to have to do a 2-stop here. Is the Haas driver, so that's probably why he's up there at the moment, because he definitely wasn't in that top 5 before he made that pit stop. But one-tenth difference at the moment between the Rock and Sideshow. Sideshow tries to make a move on the Rock there. He does cut that corner. That will definitely give him a time, sorry, not a time penalty. That will definitely, almost likely I should say, give him a warning. But he's got a very nice run. He has been battling with the Rock all day, but he's going to do a very deep move on Sideshow Prod. He got the move done. Did have to resort to cutting the corner, which did get him a 3-second time penalty, but now the Rock gets down the inside. Sideshow just said absolutely stuff it, and he just sent it down the inside on the Rock. He's been behind in this whole race, but he just absolutely sent it into that final corner. Didn't even care if they made contact. He would have been probably a solid 50 meters behind, 2, potentially 3 car lengths behind, and he just sent it down the inside there. Did Sideshow Prod, so now he moves himself up into P7. So far, the last of the drivers that have not made a pit stop, he is on the hard compound. Banana Cake Pie and Shumbo are going at it as well. Looks like that Red Bull driver is now into P11. Still on that soft compound of tyre. He has done 8 laps on that set, so he is probably going to have to come into the pits pretty soon, to be honest. Considering the lot of the soft compound drivers only lasted 8 laps. Obviously, this is the fresh set. They did not have to do qualifying. He did not have to do qualifying on this set, but I would say probably in around 2 to 3 laps time, we'll see this Red Bull driver into the pit lane for a fresh set of hard tyres. But I definitely would have gone onto the hard compound instead of going onto that soft tire, onto that soft tyre. If I was Banana Cake, I definitely would have gone onto that hard compound, and if I needed to at the end of the race, go onto that fresh set of soft to be real quick at the end. The Crossy F1 currently sitting in P2 at the moment. Still has yet to make a pit stop, so is Toddster, Aaron. Zach Crichton and Extra Evolution have made a pit stop at the moment. Extra Evolution slowly catching up to Zach. He's pulled about 0.2 of a second between him and that Mercedes car. Sideshow Prod sitting in P7 at the moment. The last of the drivers that have yet to make a pit stop. But now I think that's actually Banana Cake that is now into the pit lane for this Grand Prix. So will we see him put on a set of hard compound tyres? He's actually got a 5-second stop-go penalty. Here has Banana Cake Pie, so he's going to have to sit here for 5 seconds. It looks like that's actually the medium compound tyre that they were holding the Red Bull team. So what tyre has he put on? He's dropped all the way down to the bottom, has Banana Cake Pie. He's put on a fresh set of medium compound tyres, so that's definitely not going to last him towards the end of the race. But anyway, we'll have to see how that goes for him, but I honestly don't think that's going to get him to the end. Crossy F1. Actually, now as you can see, the 2 Mercedes drivers are swapping positions. Aaron has now given that position up to his teammate. I think Aaron will potentially be a little bit of a barrier for Zach Crichton between. Well, he's going to make sure, I should say, that Extra Evolution stays behind him for as long as possible. Does cut that corner there, does Extra Evolution. Though manages to get away without getting a time penalty by the looks of it. 0.3 of a second between Spilly and Sideshow though. They're going down the back straight, they go. Will the Racing Point driver dive down the inside? He looks like he'll wait for DRS on Sideshow Prod. Spilly obviously on a fresh set of softs compared to Sideshow's 16 laps off hard tyres plus qualifying. Will Spilly be able to make a move into turn 1? He's got the slipstream and DRS. He's not gaining at a fast enough rate, but he will have enough. He's going to pull out of the slipstream now. It's Spilly. He's going to go down the inside on Sideshow Prod. Sideshow's going to try and hang it around the outside, but he gets squeezed out wide. And Spilly now moves up into P7 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Nice move there from the Racing Point driver. But a little bit behind there actually was Jay Schmidt trying to make a move, I do believe, on Zeffy. His driver's in a little tight battle for the battle of P11, but Zeffy now looks like he's going to have to go defensive on Jay Schmidt. He looks like he's got the inside line that has the Racing Point driver, so will he be able to make that move stick? He's still keeping there. It's a harsh driver, but it looks like the Racing Point driver's now moved up a position into P12. So both the Racing Point drivers making a move on the same lap, moving up a position. Nice job there from the Racing Point team. Two-tenths of a second between 40 and F1 Hawk. As you can see on your screens now, that Ferrari driver getting really close to the rear of that Haas car. Looks like he's trying to set up a move now. Is 40 to make a move into turn 1. He'll be in a slipstream here, but now Todster has come into the pit lane. We'll see a few more drivers coming into the pits now, so a lot of the hard tyre starters by the looks of it are coming into the pits. Todster is in the pit lane, so is Swaggy. What tyre does he put on? Most likely the medium compound. I would say it is the medium compound. Is Spilly staying out? He is staying out for another lap, or a few laps, so a lot of the drivers now coming into the pits as Spilly now moves himself up into P3. Sorry, I forgot the Spilly had made a pit stop, but that was actually 40 now that made a move on F1 Hall for the battle of P5. Sorry, I didn't get that. I was too worried about the other drivers making a pit stop, but the Ferrari does move into top 5 there. Is now F1 Hawk nearly ran into the back of 40 there. Very lazy tail for McLaren. All the way down to MP16 at the moment. Has just got himself a 3-second time penalty. As you can see him down to MP16 at the moment. But as you can see, Extra Evolution now is actually catching up to Zach Crine. He's got that gap down to just over 1.1 seconds, and now he's just over 1 second, I should say. So Extra Evolution's actually reeling in Zach Crine here. Zach Crine will want this win badly, considering the starts of the year or starts of the season that he had. I want to actually have a quick look here to see who has the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. It is currently this man, Extra Evolution, on a 1 minute 30.840. By the looks of it, the only driver at the moment in the 1 minute 30s is him. Zach Crine just outside of the 1 minute 30s. Zeffy now down in P10 has just got himself a 3-second time penalty and a 5-second time penalty for F1 Hawk down in P7 as well for exceeding track limits. He comes into the pit lane now. Will he speed into the pit lane? No, he actually just gets it slowed down. Sideshow Prod also into the pit lane. He's chucking on a fresh set of medium tyres. But I reckon as soon as Extra Evolution gets into that slipstream, he will just be gaining even more on Zach Crichton. Spurley still sitting in a comfortable P3 at the moment for Racing Point, leading Swaggy 291. Then it is 40 for Ferrari, who is starting to catch up to that Alfa Romeo car. 40 on a set of hard tyres, and Swaggy, who has just pitted from who has just made a pit stop onto that fresh set of medium. So I do believe Swaggy will start to pull away now from 40. Shumbo in P6 for Alfa Romeo leading Zeffy. Then it will be across the F1 in P7, but Zeffy actually looks like he's just got a very nice run on Shumbo there. He will have DRS down this third straight available to the drivers. My predictions for the Grand Prix, I reckon... Sorry, Jack? I'm not sure. It's definitely going to be a little tight. It's going to be tight battle between Extra Evolution and Zach Crime, but it will come down to who can manage their tyres better towards the end of the Grand Prix, because they are doing a fair few laps. There's now 10 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. I reckon it will be down to who can save their tyres the best for the end of the Grand Prix. As you can see, Extra Evolution's got no ERS available to use, nor is Zach Crime, so they both really got to save a bit of ERS here. The Swaggy now goes fastest in the Grand Prix, sitting in P4 at the moment. My name's Extra, by the way, Jack, if you didn't know. But I reckon I probably have to say Zach, to be honest. I reckon They will battle, but I reckon Zach's going to definitely defend for his life here if he wants. Because knowing Zach, he will, if he does get past, he will most likely dive bomb to keep that position. He will not give it up at all. I know that for a fact. So Zach will, I reckon, will be the winner. Extra Evolution will come home comfortably in P2. And at this stage, I reckon Swaggy may get ahead of Spilly at the moment. We'll have to see Alcatraz. Where's he sitting at? So Todd's is sitting in P11, so he's in a battle pack at the moment. I didn't even realise there's a battle pack here. But currently this battle pack is actually, that was between from P6 all the way down to P11, so this is a very tight battle pack at this stage. Todd's currently at the back of it. Alcatraz currently at the back of it. Plebs is sitting in P10 at the moment. He's got his teammate right in front of him of Curving Texas. Then it is Crossy F1 in P8 and then Shumbo in P7. Crossy looks like he's going to try and make a move on Shumbo here. Shumbo ran really wide on the exit of that right-hander there. So now entry, I should say. So now that moves Crossy. What happened there? I think it's a bit of lag happening here, unfortunately. So Crossy now, I think, has gone down the inside of Shumbo. Well, I hope he has. Looks like Crossy now has a very nice run on Shumbo. They're going to head side by side, heading into turn one. This is both Ferrari powered cars. He's going to go down the inside now. Is Crossy F1. Will he be able to make a move? That number 75 car gets down the inside of the F1 man, but that was Curving Texas that actually made contact there with Shumbo. The two drivers that have moved up from F2 or Tier 2 this year have moved, or this season have made contact. Then that's Plebs moving down the inside now on Shumbo. They also do make contact again, but that's Curving Texas running really wide on exit. But now Plebs, and I should say that both of the Renaults have got ahead of Shumbo. So Shumbo just dropped 3 positions there in the space of a sector. There was a lot of contact made, but now that's Dodson driving down the inside of Shumbo. No contact made, but he got a very nice run there, did Shumbo on Plebs. Will he try and stick a move or stick his nose down the inside? Heading into this double left-handed. It is a very unpredictable spot, which Todd's has actually done. Looks like he's going to be down the inside. He's going to have DRS available to him as well, but so will Shumbo. But it looked like Shumbo had the worst of the runs compared to Todsa. Out of that double left-handed, now Toddy moves up into P10 for Williams. Unfortunately, Todd's teammate VSR Roscoe hasn't had as much pace as he did as well in the Australian Grand Prix. But now Zeffy and Crossy are going at it. Crossy's actually just got ahead now of Zeffy, so Zeffy had a pretty decent gap. It was around 1.5 seconds in the previous sector, so he must have made a mistake there and allowed Crossy to catch back up to him. Now Curving Texas leads his teammate at the moment, MP8 and 9 Renault. Doing a pretty solid job at the moment. So are Ferrari as well, currently sitting in P5 and P6. Crossy looking pretty quick at the moment. He's trying to defend from Zeffy. Heading through turn 1 they go. Zeffy is going to have to settle for P7 at this stage, but he will have DRS. Down this next straight, the DRS will be activated about now. He's going to have a nice run though with Zeffy. He's going to go down the outside. That's actually all 4 wheels off the track actually. So we could potentially see if he does get this position. Crossy now looks like he's staying ahead, so I was going to say if he did gain a position there, I think he would have been in a little bit of trouble because he's actually lost the car now as Zeffy, so he spun around the race, not the racing point, the harsh driver unfortunately has spun around. He got mounted onto the curb. Well, he did it himself, I should say. He took way too much curb there heading through turn 7 I should say, and unfortunately that spun the car around. As I said, in the qualifying session, it is very easy to use too much curb and it will throw the car because they are very unpredictable, these curbs around the Sakia circuit. So that's unfortunate for Zeffy. He's going to have to dropped down back to P13 now. So now that moves Crossy into a pretty comfortable lead at the moment. He's got 1.3 seconds between him and Curving Texas. And it is Curving Texas' teammate Plebs behind. Tonson's right there as well. Swaggy now has actually left the session in P4, so hopefully he can join back. He's currently sitting in a pretty solid P4 at this stage. So I was going to say Zeffy probably would have been in a bit of trouble there if he made that move on Crossy, considering he had all 4 wheels off the track. But now the 2 Renaults are going to be swapping positions here. Down the inside, Plebs goes on his teammate Curving Texas, but that's also Todster trying to make a move on both the Renaults, and they've actually spun around there. Has Todster even tried to make both the moves work? I think he was only trying to make it on Curving Texas, but unfortunately he made contact with Plebs. Nearly will put Plebs into a half spin, I do believe. And Todster's dropped all the way down now to P12 behind his team. teammate. That's actually Aaron and Shumbo going at it now for the battle of P9. It looks like Aaron's got down the inside. He moves up into P9 for the Grand Prix. Well, I mean, he is entitled to a defensive maneuver, but we all have different opinions, Jack. Not saying that yours is wrong. I was just saying that from the, well, obviously the French Grand Prix this year where Ricciardo overtook with 4 wheels off the circuit, but I guess that could have been a little bit of a different circumstance considering Crossy did make a pretty late move, but now I actually haven't realised this extra evolution is now caught up to the rear of Zach Crine. I do apologise for that. But now Zach Crine has looked like he's got a pretty bad run out of the final corner. He's going to defend the inside line now. Is Zach Crine. He's going to try and go around the outside. His extra evolution. It looks like Zach ran really deep into the corner now. The McLaren's trying to hang it around the outside. Very clean racing at the moment from the two front runners. They've got a massive lead. 10.3 seconds, so these guys can battle it out without having to defend from behind. But Zach looks like he's going to hold on at the moment as they head into Sector 2. He's going to hold on to the lead of the Grand Prix. But that was a very tight battle there between our two race leaders of the Extra Evolution and Zach Crichton. Extra Evolution nearly got the move done as they head on to lap 23 of 29 of the Grand Prix. 6 laps remain. Nearly makes contact there, did Extra Evolution. Have to correct the steering there also, so that's going to cost them all the way down the straight here. But Aaron is also making a move again on Shumbo, so these two are battling it out for a solid P8 at the moment. They were battling for P9, but unfortunately after Todser spun around, they have now moved up a spot. I'm going to go back to the leaders of the Grand Prix. I'm going to swap this to position change as well now. See who's moved up the most spots, but currently it's actually 40, so he's looking very, very good at the moment for driver of the day. He's moved up 14 spots in this Grand Prix. Started P18 and now currently sitting in P4. But now it looks like Extra Evolution trying to make another move now. Zach Crane, he's going to do the switch back. And he's gone down the inside as Extra Evolution. Zach's very deep under brakes. They do make contact there. Does the Mercedes and the McLaren driver. He's going to try and hang it around the outside, which will switch to the inside line for turn 4. They're going to go side by the looks of it. Extra Evolution's going to have the better run down the straight. Zach tries to defend, but unfortunately he did it a bit late. He's going to squeeze him down the inside. Here's Extra Evolution, but it looks like he's going to keep the position there, did Zach. Zach did have the inside line heading through turn 1. He did force Extra Evolution out wide. So he had the outside line, I should say. I think Extra Evolution ran a little bit deep, but obviously I didn't have the best view of it on the TV cam. But anyway, Spilly's still running a pretty comfortable P3 at the moment. He's got 5 seconds between him and 40 behind. But I'm going to keep on board with the battle at the moment, as this is the battle for the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix of the Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Pacific Series. I thought Extra Evolution was actually close enough to make a move there. Tier 1 League, I should point out as well. There's two tiers in the Pacific Series on PS4. Will we see another potential move here from Extra Evolution? See, Spilly's actually got that gap down to under 10 seconds now. He is catching up as these two are battling. I don't think he'll be able to make a move though. He's a little bit too far behind, I do believe. But Aaron and Kevin Texas are making a move for P7 now and 8. But unfortunately, I want to heap on this battle as now. Extra Evolution's got another very nice run. Heading down the front straight. He's going to go back down the inside. Will Zach be deeper under brakes? They look pretty even. Heading into turn 1. Will Revolution forcing that wide. They were neck to neck on the exit. Oh, midway through turn 1. They were millimeters close to each other, but they still got the inside line. Has Extra Evolution. Zach is leading into the braking zone. Will they make contact? They give each other the necessary room available, but Zach holds on again. He's held it around the outside for the last 2 laps, but this is a very, very tight battle at the moment for the leader of the Grand Prix, Extra Evolution. Obviously the winner of the Australian Grand Prix for the PS4 Pacific Series Tier 1 League, but now that is actually a driver. I do believe that is Zephy that I think has spun around. We're going to go back down the order just real quickly, but that's actually the very lazy Tao that has unfortunately spun around on the exit of turn 1. So that's a McLaren driver. It's day over by the looks of it. Zach actually had to defend the inside line there. Heading down that second straight, but Extra Evolution's got a very nice run now. Will Zach be able to maintain that inside line? It looks like he has. Extra Evolution now. VSR Roscoe Arm is retired down in P15. Could this bring out a potential VSC or safety car? And that's Extra Evolution that had a massive tank slapper there. Heading down that straight, Extra Evolution's going to go down the inside, but he's been smart about this. He's stuck behind Zach Crichton to get that DRS. He's very smart there from Extra Evolution. He could have easily made a move there on Zach heading into that corner. He's going to have a run here again. Is Revolution, but Zach's going to defend the inside line. He goes to the outside for a different change here. Is Extra Evolution. He's going to try and hang it there, but Zach was deeper under brakes by the looks of it, and he's going to hold on. 2P1 at this stage, but Revolution's got another nice run. Heading down the straight, he's going to use the Esports line there. He's got the outside line. Has Revolution, and it looks like he's got the move done. He's still got the inside line though for turn 5 rather, and it looks like Zach's going to hold on. I don't know why I said Pete there. Well, I do know why I said Pete, because that's normally his name, but his gamer tag. But Zach Crichton holds on again. It's a very tight battle at the moment. As I said before in my predictions, I knew Zach Crichton was not going to give this position up easy. He was going to make Revolution work for it, and Revolution is working for it. But currently now we've had 2 retirements from this Grand Prix. Zephy is now retired down in P16, so we're going to ride on board with Dr. Dre to see what's happened to the driver. Now, as you can see, Tao, I think, may have a bit of damage here, unfortunately, too. The McLaren car, as you can see, his right end plate is not on that car, unfortunately. So that will make it 2 retirements in this Grand Prix, them being Zephy and VSR Roscoe. I'm unfortunate from the Haas and Williams team. But now Revolution now got another nice run on Zach Crichton down this next straight. He's saving the ERS at the moment. He's got 27%. So is Zach Crichton. He's around the same. He's 4% difference. So that won't make too much of a difference when it comes to overall speed. But now, Extra Evolution, will he make another move? He will have DRS available to him. Down this next straight, on the main straight he goes. Will he be deep enough, or will he be fast enough down the straight? He's going to do the switchback maneuver again. He faked it to the outside, and now it looks like he's a lot deeper under brakes. Here's Extra Evolution. He tried to make the move stick again, but he's going to have the outside right. Extra Evolution trying to make the move. They're going to go side by side, but Zach had the better traction off turn 2, and it looks like he's going to hold on to P1 again. I'm actually losing my voice here, so sorry about that. I am yelling a bit too much, but welcome to my stream. Very, very tight battle at the moment for the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. There's now 3 laps remaining in it. 2 laps, I should say. The drivers will start the penultimate lap. Next lap round, Todd's to 99 down in P10 at the moment. He's now got himself a 3-second time penalty for the Grand Prix. Going to drop down here. As you can see, Sideshow Prod is now catching up to Jay Schmidt and the Rock F1. That'll definitely be a battle to watch to see how that goes, but I really need to stay on board with these front 2 at this stage, because this is the battle for the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Zach looks like he's got a little bit more of a lead at the moment on Extra Evolution this lap round. See, Zach's already chucked it up into hot lap to get the best possible exit off that final corner. But anyway, Extra Evolution now is trying to make another move on Zach Crichton. Will he do the dummy again? He's going to go to the outside this time again. Will he be deeper under brakes? I think the Extra Evolution here will not get the move done, but he's trying to do the switchback maneuver on Zach Crichton. He will obviously have DRS again for this next straight. Opening it right about now. Will he be able to make a move? Heading into turn 4, they go. He's got a very nice run, a lot more straight line speed compared to Zach Crichton. He is a little bit ahead now, so he does have the right of way. Does Extra Evolution. Zach Crichton trying to hang it around the outside, but Extra Evolution has the inside line for turn 5, and Zach manages to keep it the lead again. Will he dive down the inside for turn 8? I think what Extra Evolution needs to do is be a bit deep under brakes, but there goes Tao down in P18. Unfortunately, Extra Evolution's teammate has retired from the session. But I think what Extra Evolution needs to do, he needs to be a lot deeper under brakes, because that's the reason that Zach Crichton is staying ahead of him at the moment, to be honest. He's got a nice run down the second straight here, but he's going to sit behind him again. Extra Evolution, they are on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Jay Schmidt and The Rock just made a move as well down for the battle of P11. But I'm going to keep it on this battle, unfortunately, so we'll check out how that goes after this battle is done. They have around 6 seconds now. Spilly has gained up on both these drivers. I want to quickly just swap this over real quick to see if any of these drivers have time penalties. Zach does not, and Extra Evolution does not either. So this is the battle for the lead of the Grand Prix at this stage. They are now starting the final lap of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Let's see how this pans out. Zach Ryan defends the inside line all the way. Extra Evolution's got to be as deep as possible on the brakes. He is a lot deeper this time. He's going to try and hang it around the outside. He squeezes Zach Ryan. Runs a little bit deep on exit though. Zach Ryan's going to try and hang it around the outside, but it looks like he's got the move done. Extra Evolution will have DRS. Actually, he will not have DRS here. Zach Ryan had the DRS. He was behind. He was actually behind Extra Evolution when the DRS section zone came around. Zach has now ERS available to him. There's 11% to him and 50% at the moment, 40% for Extra Evolution. So that could definitely come into the hands of Zach Ryan. But I want to quickly go to Crossy because him and Plebs are going to go side by side. Now for the battle on P5, they go. Plebs tries to go down the inside. And it looks like Crossy's going to keep that position. Plebs got a lot of tank slapper there. Now Aaron trying to make a move on Plebs. And it looks like that's going to settle there for a little while, but I really need to go back to this battle for the lead of the Grand Prix. I just wanted to briefly get a view on what was happening in the midfield. Will Revolution dive down the inside? He's not. He's going to have to try and do it on the front straight. He's going to have to get a very nice run out of these next couple of corners if he wants any chance of winning this Grand Prix. Zach Ryan still leads away. He's going to dive down the inside. It's Extra Evolution. I'm sorry about my voice as well. I'm really losing it, but Extra Evolution now chucks it up into hot lap. Does Zach as well. He's currently sitting in overtake. He doesn't have as much ERS. Extra Evolution goes to the outside. Will he be able to make a move? On the driver, Zach Ryan has the inside line, but Extra Evolution is trying to make the move work. He's going to be in the slipstream. Will have DRS coming up to the line. They're going to be side by side, and Zach Ryan gets the win. Holy crap, my voice is gone, man. I'm sorry. But Extra Evolution, unfortunately, is going to have to settle for P2 in this Grand Prix. What a battle for the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Holy crap, my voice is actually gone right now. Sorry about that. But Zach Ryan wins the Bahrain Grand Prix for the Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Pacific Series Tier 1 League, ahead of the McLaren driver of Extra Evolution. P3 will be Spilly. There was 5/100ths of a second in the end. So the voice cracks are definitely going to come out now that I'm losing my voice, but there was 5/100ths of a second between Extra Evolution and Zach Ryan in the end. 40's going to come home P4 ahead of his teammate Crossy MP5. Very solid result from 40, and he will get the driver of the day as he's moved up the most positions in this Grand Prix. 14 spots in the end. Spilly's going to come home P3 as I read, then it will be the two Ferrari drivers of 40 and Crossy. Plebs will come home P6 for Renault. P7 will be Aaron L3 F4. P8 will be Curving Texas for Renault. Unfortunately wasn't able to keep up with his teammate Aaron. Split the two Renaults in the end, and Shumbo will come home P10, I do believe that is. But that has been your Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Pacific Series Tier 1 League. My voice is genuinely gone right now. I need to practice on not yelling as much throughout the race. GT Spilly, congratulations mate on that podium. Solid result for Racing Point as well. But congratulations massively to Zach Ryan for taking out the win. So as I said before, he was never going to give that position up easy to Extra Evolution. And he proved what I said. And Revolution, very solid result to him as well. And solid effort from him as well. I do think he probably could have been a bit deeper under brakes a few times there. But anyway, you can't change it now. A few things to improve on the future, potentially for Revolution. But as I said before, your driver of the day will be 4022, coming home P4 when he started P18 in this Grand Prix, so congratulations to him. And the fastest lap award also went to Spilly, I do believe, with the 1 minute 30.687, but he's going to come home P3, leading 40 in P4. P5 will be his teammate Crossy, P6 Plebs, 7th Aaron, 8th will be Curving Texas, and Renier top 9 will be the Alfa Romeo of Shumbo, and then Renier top 10 will be XXJ Schmidt for Racing Point, taking home a double points finish for Racing Point, Ferrari, and Renault, and Mercedes. So McLaren and Alfa Romeo were the only teams there that actually didn't pick up a double points finish. And then it was Todd's 99 and Williams P11. Unfortunately, a pretty shocking result or poor performance there from the two. I shouldn't say poor, but unfortunate performance from the two Williams drivers. One having a DNF and one in 11. Then it will be the Rock F1, Sideshow Prod, F1 Hawk, Banana K Pie, unfortunately in the end did not get the result that he wanted. Then Dr. Dre, Swaggy, Tal, Zeffy, and VSI Roscoe round out your top 20 for the Race Spec F1 Esports PS4 Pacific Series. My name is Expert. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you everyone. Thank you Stephen as well. That was an insane ending, man. I do agree with you, but anyway, if you guys are new around here and do want to see more endings like that, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications to get notified when the streams go live. But anyway, as I said before, my name is Expert. It's been a massive pleasure to commentate this, and I will see you guys next time for the Chinese Grand Prix.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side.